Ooh, had my doctor visit. They said nothing wrong with me. They want to take me off the blood pressure medicine. Said, you're just on a baby dose. I said, please keep it. They said it's also good for other things too. So I'm keeping that on my walk back home. And I guess I'll pick that up next time I get over to the drugstore. It's renewed for another year. Have to go through this hassle again next year. They want to put me on another medication, do all sorts of tests. I am against the unnecessary tests and medical care. Unless I'm hurting, I'm fine. They said my lungs are good. Never been a smoker or drank. In my lifetime, I've had like a couple sips of various things. Tasted beer and whiskey when I was a boy. My father was a big beer drinker. And we always had whiskey in the house. My mother used it for our infant toothaches. Now, this is back in the 60s, so they were a fairly primitive lot back then. Had a little bit of wine and champagne. About the time I got married back in 1981. But I've never been a bar fly or anything. I was in a bar once in like 1983 asking for directions. Pardon me, gentlemen, do you know where the Primitive Methodist Church is? And they did. I bet I could catch the bus home if I'd wait, but the walking is good for me. So, I do need breaks. I can't keep this up for hours anymore. But every couple of days I do a mile and a half. Three-quarters either way. And then I can manage this mile or two once a year. Can't do the 16 milers I used to do back when I was young. I used to walk the Appalachian Trail. Oh, this one's yeah, it's available. Yeah, this used to be one of the drugstores. The one I never go to because they say they overcharge. No. This used to be the CVS. The other one's Walgreens. That's open. Hopefully they don't close my CVS. But I guess Walgreens and CVS being right next to each other as they are here, you can hardly expect both to stay open. But they arrived at about the same time. Yes, I remember when both those lots were houses. Same way with across the street, it was all houses. Having a leg cramp right now. It looks like I'll get home without it raining. That'll be grand. Got this fellow up here. Seems to be waiting for the bus. Time for a rest. It's a lovely church there. Never been in. Back when I was in the profession, I'd go in all sorts of churches. Love church architecture. The older more than the new. Frankly, I find the new to be rather revolting. As I grew up with the old. I do feel crampy. Post office again. The medical types across the street. It's smaller than my town, but extends out further. A lot of suburbs. We got it right here. Health and Cultural District. The hospital is the biggest employer in town. There's 3 hospitals in this city. This one, the State Hospital downtown, and the Catholic Hospital on the West End. Charming row of antique buildings. Wonder what the ideation was back when. Ah, here we go again. Got the light. That they would build these narrow things. And they're not very tall either. Just a tiny little shop in the bottom. I think they would have gone bigger. But you see so many of these type of buildings in towns. It's the cramping in my leg that's getting to me. I've never liked dogs. I had bad experiences with dogs several times in my childhood. Oh, Save-A-Lot's available too. Is it closed? Oh, I can see the lights on inside. So they've been working on that old building back there. You can't get any clear news. I think they want to turn it into apartments. It's a huge structure. Extends for at least a block, if not more. It used to be a factory, of course, but that was long before I ever saw it. Yes, so you have seen a little taste of my boring life. I am hoping that in July I'll get down to New York City for the fireworks, and maybe in the winter I'll take the train out to California. I'd like to see what the train is like. I was only on the train once before, and that was coach. Harper's Ferry, West Virginia to DC, and then the bus back home to York at that time. York, Pennsylvania. My insurance is messed up. The Fidelis I used to have dropped me when I turned 65. So I got Medicaid, and I thought that was all right, that the Medicaid would take care of all my doctor's expenses. I mean, maybe with like a copay of $5 or so. Don't mind that. But they're talking over $100, which I might have to pay. So they gave me a list of phone numbers to contact about assistance for this, and also I should see what it is that's included in my Medicare and Medicaid. Pardon me. It always seems like a longer walk than it really is. That just might be me. And my crampy old joints. So they took my blood pressure the first time, and it was too high. My arm was resting on the arm of the chair. So they had me put my arm up so it was level to my shoulder. And they took it that time, and it was nice. That was when the doctor said they might cancel my medication. But no, I want to continue it because it just might be an anomaly that my blood pressure is low. Well, not even low, but normal. okay. It's the last major street I have to cross. EJ Theme Park. I don't see how it could be a theme park. That's a bit much. What is the theme? Books and internet and the old robotics plant and trees, grass. That's the theme. I used to build cables for that robotics plant. But it's been a long while since I asked for anything. So, what they asked us to do wasn't right for what they wanted. It was a parallel cable. One side was supposed to be out and the other side in. Well, that's the way I built it. That turned out that the other side was supposed to be in as well. And turns out it was in toward their machine that they wanted it, which was out toward our cable. And we always built them according to our cable, of course. We were looking from the cable, and they were looking from the machine. And I figured that out. It was all a matter of perspective. They always liked how I did those parallel cables. And the LAN cables too. Oddly enough, I could catch on to the more complicated things before I could catch on to the simpler things. I was awful at untwisting mesh. Off the shield of a cable. I always ground it up too badly. Lost a lot of volume. Which wasn't bad when you had to cut away half the volume to fit into the connector, but if it wasn't that way, then the cable would be ruined. I always wanted to solder on, but that wasn't allowed. Much easier to do. But I guess there's noise in the solder joint.